Hi everyone, Uthany Woo Tano here, the internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for a review of this new Uchis record, ORQUÍDEAS. This is the fourth full-length LP from Colombian-American singer and songwriter Uchis, who seems to be on a prolific streak at the moment, as she just dropped a new album not even a full year ago in 2023, Red Moon and Venus, which was a bilingual and love-sick record that saw Callie taking an even dreamier approach to the soul, Latin pop, and R&B fusions she's known for. No doubt a creative record with a lot of enjoyable tracks on it, but still more washed out and commercial in comparison to her last two full-lengths at that point, especially her debut Isolation, which I love to this day and had a nice alternative bent to it. Also, even further back into her catalog, she used to do some doo-wop tracks here and there. Don't know what happened to that. I mean, it was certainly better than what Meghan Trainor tries to do on that front, but whatever. Lately, I think Callie's been leaning more and more into her strengths and appeal as a Latin artist, which is an exciting direction in its own right, especially as the scene is going more mainstream and is screaming for artists who aren't just going to hit us with a bunch of faceless and formulaic reggaeton boppers. And for sure, I can trust going into a new album, Callie is going to give us a beautiful and recognizable sound. But I don't know, maybe jumping back into album mode so soon was a bit premature, cause I'm not seeing a massive amount of daylight creatively between this record and her last, although I suppose if you were totally in love with Red Moon, that's a W for you. And in addition to that, she did recently announce that she is pregnant, so this could possibly be her last record for a while. But even if it is the case that Callie takes a break and goes into mom mode for a minute, it's hard to see a second helping of the vibes from the last record as terribly essential, even if there are some notable ways this record differs from its predecessor, especially in the first leg where Callie seems to get lost in the endless and blissful grooves of dance pop, which is a cool move all around, but the production is so reverb-soaked and washed out, it all kind of ends up sounding like this textureless gruel, even if the melodies at the core of all of it are solid. Sadly, it just sounds like background filler for mall dressing rooms across the country, and I hate to hear another creative artist fall into that rabbit hole. To the record's credit, though, Como Asi is a very strong opener, with its punchy kicks and watery patches and bleep-bloop synth bits. It sounds like we're about to embark on an otherworldly musical odyssey, and some of the vocal highs Callie hits makes me feel like I'm listening to an underwater opera. But again, the instrumentation just gets more flavorless from here. I mean, the grooves are there, but the textures aren't all that distinct, and the songwriting and melodies all sort of melt together in a way that's difficult to recall. There's a super airbrushed dream disco anthem featuring Peso Pluma that I'm kind of amazed has him on the track. He sounds completely unlike himself. The amount of fluff and reverb abuse in these mixes is just mind-boggling, and we hit a high of blandness on Pensamientos Intrusivos, but thankfully things get much better from here, and the track list of the record stylistically gets a bit more chaotic in a good way. There's Te Mata, which is going for more of a Cuban vibe. It's a great and dreamy bolero ballad with soaring lead vocals, lots of ornate string passages too. It's absolutely gorgeous. While yeah, I do wish it wasn't so blown out with effects, it doesn't ruin the track entirely. And I actually thought there was more clarity on the track Perdiste, whose vintage, bustling sequence drum beats have kind of a quirky appeal. Callie's vocals also sound great against the serene chords and chunky synth bass. And we hit another minor lull in the track list before things really heat up in the final leg, where all of this atmospheric, pillowy production is applied to a handful of reggaeton songs, and it actually ends up being a match made in heaven. Like the pumping grooves on MUNEKITA matched with the plucky melodies and the squeaky horn hits, they all sound both otherworldly and gorgeous and beautiful, but also hard as hell with all the reverb and Callie's vocals on it. Plus the tempo change on the track is sick, along with the funny vocal breaks and purring ad-libs. LABIOS, MORDIDOS featuring Carol G hits even harder. With massive kicks and soft, stuttering synthesizers, Callie manages to make a reggaeton cut sound like a flowery psychedelic wonderland. Also that hook, K2! Then following this, we have kind of a revamped version of a single she dropped back in 2022, if I remember correctly. But this time around, we have thicker layers, bigger perks, a feature, the ending is changed up. Again, it sounds revitalized, and it really works. It sounds like she's kind of pulled the song away from being the sort of skeletal demo-ish track it was originally. Then the closing track, I think, is one of the best songs Uchis has ever put out. It is a two-parter and a spicy fusion. It's a mid-paced merengue cut with some horns firing off in the background, acrobatic bass lines that eventually delivers a tempo change, and we kind of go backwards in time a little bit with this MUEVETE section that features a persistent kick, fantastic accordion runs, and lyrically a narrative change too. As we go from this portion of the song that's all about needing love and kisses, and sees Callie kind of likening herself to a flower that will wilt without this attention, without this affection. And then suddenly in the second half we are off to the races on the dance floor, ignoring the advances of other men and celebrating independence. And again, instrumentally and musically, it's a fantastic finish to the record. I just wish more songs on this thing came off as bold, dynamic, and versatile, cause especially in the first half, quite a few just don't. There's a lot of moments where Callie and her producers just lean a bit too hard on that reverb and don't flesh at least a couple of songs on this thing out that far. A handful of the dance cuts do shine though, and the moments where she's really embracing her Latin roots, amazing, and those reggaeton songs really go off. So yeah, I did enjoy this record, even if it is a bit of a mixed bag for Callie. I'm feeling a light to decent 7 on this one. Transition, have you given this record a listen? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you rate it? You're the best, you're the best. What should I review next? Hit the like if you like. Please subscribe and please don't cry. Hit the bell as well. Over here next to my head is another video you can check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, Callie Uchis, forever.